Hello everyone, this is Professor Q. Women not getting equal pay for the same job as men has been a long-standing issue and complaint. Did you know that women were legally paid less than men with the same qualifications for the same job until 1963? Women would do the exact same duties as men, but got paid less simply because they were women. It's documented that women complaining of this unfairness were given ridiculous reasons for this practice, such as he has a family to support. But that same point was not considered if the employee happened to be a single mother who was working to raise children on her own. Where was the fairness in that argument? Even though women had started fighting against this practice in the early 1900s, they were not really heard until 1963. The courts finally decided that employers were no longer allowed to discriminate against employees solely based on gender. This court decision is the foundation of equality in the workplace today. However, we know this continues being practiced in many covert and under-the-table ways in the workplace today. Often this unfairness, as well as other cases of discrimination, can be difficult to prove. However, the focus point and objective are to keep moving forward and demand equality and change. Point number 1. Women were paid less and did not have access to the same training and promotions as men. In addition to men being paid more than women for the same job, women were also denied promotion opportunities simply because of their gender. Women were basically seen as less intelligent, indecisive, less competent, weak, emotional, and more suited to be at home, working as wife and mother. They were also seen as someone who took a job away from a man. As such, employers did not believe in the capability of women to succeed in leadership roles. Because women were not on the same level as men, they did not benefit from information sharing. That meant they were not as informed about company business as their male counterpart. With very little exception, before 1963, women were not seen seated in boardroom meetings, running Fortune 500 companies, CEO of a major corporation, or in high-level political offices. After all, no one thought that a woman had any valid ideas to share at the workplace. Also, women did not have the ability to grow their careers, which was benefiting their male co-workers. This meant the system functioned in such a way that it kept women in lower positions, such as receptionist or secretary. Many of these women were well qualified to do so much more if given the chance. There have been cases where a woman trained a less qualified man to take a job she was already qualified to perform. Also, since women were very seldom placed in higher level positions, her income also suffered. If the employee were a mother, she would have less income to provide for her family. This unfair practice resulted in complaints and lawsuits across the board. Point number 2. Retraining individuals and agencies to ensure fair practices. After 1963, adapting to the new law of men and women being treated equally at work was not easy. A lot of work had to be done to change how employers and others see women at the workplace. Fortunately, through adequate training and sensitization on the matter, the culture of gender equality on the job is slowly becoming the norm, but it has been a very uphill battle. Human resource experts had to come up with training sessions where employers learned to implement gender equality. It was an uphill battle and not easily accepted by everyone in the business world. It is beautiful to see more women assume leadership roles at work, and this is a big step in the right direction. Point number 3. More needs to be done. Even though we have made great progress since 1963, there is still room for improvement as far as gender equality in careers is concerned. Still, there are more men than women in leadership and decision-making positions all over America. Why do you think this is? Women assuming leadership roles and powerful positions at work is still not the norm. It's rare because gender equality is a new concept that's not been totally accepted. It shows that it is still harder for women to get these equal opportunities, despite the gender equality law passed years ago. This struggle continues, and the gender gap persists. Some industries which have the higher levels of discrimination include technology and finance. In addition, women in the technology industry often report being excluded from networking opportunities, mentoring programs, and leadership development programs. This all places a severe limit on women's opportunities for advancement when equally qualified. What's needed is a level playing field. I look forward to a time where a woman will be elected as a president or appointed as a CEO of a major company, and no one will blink an eye, because it will have become a norm. If a person failed to maintain employment or advancement, it should not be based on gender. Conclusion: have any feedback or comments? What do you think? This is Professor Q. Thanks for listening to my video, and hope to see you again next time.